I want to welcome you to the Ask Jeff YouTube channel. Here's today's question. Are the acclaimed apparitions of Mary demonic, considering how we are warned against familiar spirits? Now, a familiar spirit is spoken of not only in the book of Deuteronomy, but all the way through the book of Revelation. It comes up all the time in the Bible and a whole lot with the prophets in the Old Testament. And the whole idea of familiar spirit is someone who used to reside on planet Earth, who is now, quote, reappearing to give guidance, to give direction, to give insight. And to be quite honest, the Bible speaks of it as witchcraft, something that is contrary to God. The biggest issue with your question is, but it's Mary. We have to admit, you read the New Testament, Mary's a pretty critical character. She was the one who carried the gestation period of whom we know is Jesus Christ, his incarnation, his earthly dwelling with us. She is such a critical character to the story. And yet there are appearances. In fact, I used to live in a town in the east side of Atlanta, Georgia, that had an entire site dedicated to a very famous apparition of Mary. And so all that being said, nowhere in the Bible does it tell us to consider familiar spirits. Nowhere in the Bible does it tell us to place Mary or her words or her appearance above that of Jesus Christ. And so when you have these appearances, whether they be in the, quote, bushes, whether they be in loaves of bread, whether they be in the clouds, there's a lot of different ones, particularly when you go down into South America, there's a whole lot of, quote, claims. Are they demonic? Well, here's why I would say yes. Whom we know is the devil, Satan. His desire is to get our time, our attention, our resources, our very souls away from Jesus Christ. And if he can get us to focus on an image of Mary in a tree or a loaf of bread, that takes us away from Jesus very clearly. And so even though the character is, quote, and was used of God, and even though the Lord does have the ability to, quote, manifest himself in supernatural means, I don't think the Lord himself, there's no biblical evidence that he would communicate to born-again Christians on how to further the relationship with Jesus Christ by a, quote, image of Mary in the inanimate. So again, I know it's strong language to call it demonic, but it definitely is not of God, and there's nothing biblical that we can defend it with. Unfortunately, most of these, quote, sightings become tourist attractions. They oftentimes generate great revenue. But the saddest thing to me is that you will have people travel all over the world to get a glimpse of these images, these appearances, whatever they may be. And the sad thing is that according to Hebrews chapter 4, we have, according to verse 16, the ability to go straight to the throne room of God. Did you know that even in our sinful state, we can go directly to the throne room of God. We can have a personal conversation with the creator of the universe without even leaving our living room. We don't have to go see an image, an apparition of anybody, much less a principal character in the Bible. We can go directly to Jesus. The Bible says whoever calls on the name of the Lord, that would be Jesus Christ, shall be saved. Great question. If you have a question, send it to askjeff.net. Maybe your question will be tomorrow. Thanks for being a part of today's daily question. Now, we answer a question each and every day. Please feel free to submit a new question at askjeff.net. We may not have gotten to yours today, but we eventually will continue to be a part of this. Subscribe so you don't miss out on a question every day.